Right, back in London, and today I'm going in there. Probably the most famous tourist attraction in London. Not going into Buckingham Palace. I have before, I've had the privilege to go in there before, but they've recently opened the private gardens, which I believe is the largest private garden in London. Oh, you know, old Liz sort of has a monopoly on that. So they've opened it for a couple of months, I think, and it's all sold out, but you can get last minute tickets like I did. Why Buckingham Palace? When I was in Zurich, I was talking to people about Lauterbrunnen, which is a day trip away and one of the best places I've been, and none of them had gone there. I guess it's one of those things where it's always really close and you never get to go there. So I figured I'd go and see all of the attractions in London that I haven't seen. When I was back here in December on a Monday, which is today, there was nobody here for obvious reasons, pandemic. But now, back to the circus watching Buckingham Palace and the changing of the guards. It's, I don't know if you can see that, slightly windy, cloudy, threat of rain, pretty par for the course for London. So quite glad it's not a sunny day, because that would be a not a particularly realistic view of, if you get the chance to go into the gardens, what weather you would get. Logistics, £16.50 to enter. I actually googled it today and there's been 3 fairly scathing articles about it saying it's just not worth it, and they've cordoned off most of the gardens, and that all of the royal parks are just as good, which are free. So we'll have to figure out whether it's worth it. But let's face it, it's not about the park, it's about the royals. I'm fairly indifferent when it comes to the royals, but you know, you get to go inside Buckingham Palace Gardens, which is not something you usually get to do. Okay, let's go. Everybody loves the guards with the fuzzy hats. Oh. You don't get to go in the front gate. You have to go around the side, I think. When I went inside Buckingham Palace, I actually got to walk through the front gates. People thought I was someone important because I was wearing a suit, but I'm not. I guess I'll stop filming now, because I guess security will be like airport security. And we're in. Here you go. It's been marketed mainly as like, come here and have a picnic. So I guess that's what everybody's done. It's nice, not quite as spectacular as the front. Let's go and take a stroll. Peaceful so far. Apparently you can see 2/3 of the garden without paying the extra £6.50 to do the highlights tour, which is the rose garden and some sort of vase. But we'll just do this. Two-thirds might be a lie. Most of it's roped off. There's a lovely lake here with a bridge. I think there's about 50 acres. And the available space is definitely not 50 acres. Oh, there's the vase. Okay, I'm gonna have to get the big camera out. So I guess the done thing is to sit here on the lawn and have a picnic. I don't have any food, so I won't be doing that, but I think it'd be a nice thing to do. Whether you want to pay for the privilege is up to you, but if it was sunny, it'd be a nice spot for a picnic. By the way, that vase, trivia, is as tall as a London bus, as wide as a London bus, and is 19 tons of marble. Apparently it was commissioned by Napoleon as he made his way to Tuscany to celebrate his victories, which didn't turn out, and then it was donated by the Duke of Tuscany? Or was it? It was donated by the Duke of Tuscany to the British to celebrate the British victories. Some sort of irony in there somewhere. Apparently this is pretty much it. The lawn and the rose garden, like the White House rose garden, are the features. I don't know. I think it's something nice to do if you're into the royals. If you're not, just go to one of the many parks in London for a picnic. See if I can show you some stuff whilst I exit. In the meantime, I've got to say, I thought there'd be a lot more flowers. I live near Victoria Park and the flower garden there is better than here, which I wouldn't expect from old Liz. I guess she doesn't spend much of her time here. So this is actually the first time they've opened the gardens, which is one of the reasons why I came. But I think every year they open the staterooms. So I don't know how much that is. I'll find out. I'll put it somewhere. I think that'd be quite a cool thing to do. You get to go inside. Whereas at the moment, this is just a flat piece of grass with a big building that's not as nice as the front of the big building. Yeah. Potentially not the best £16 I've ever spent. We'll just sort of walk around. The way out is nicer than the actual route near the palace. I suppose it's all part of the garden. Some nice trees, but I don't know. I just don't know. The people that said that it's no different from the royal parks weren't lying. It's just like any park. Should it just be open to the public? I guess so. I mean, that's nice. Those red parts are what you see. I wouldn't call that 2/3. I'd call that maybe 15%. And that's it, done. If you're coming to London, just go and see the palace like normal. Look at the guards, stare through the gate. Look at the front of the palace, it's a lot more beautiful, and you have the statue outside. So it's sandwiched between St James's Park, Green Park and Hyde Park. I mean, it's cordoned off, you can see here. You can never actually see into it because of the walls, so, you know, I was suckered in, I paid, but as I'm going back I'll show you St James's Park, which has views of the palace and is much nicer. Right, so I'm back outside. Just spoke to some people as I was leaving and I asked what they thought of it, and they loved it because they love the royals. So I guess if you're into that, then you'll have a different opinion than me, and my opinion is just an opinion. But this is the front. flowers. And that is St. James's Park, which is similar, if not nicer, bigger and free. I think it's pretty obvious what I would choose. I looked up the staterooms, so you do the staterooms with the garden and it's £60, so that's considerably more. I don't know, I wouldn't do it again. I would just, even if I was a tourist, I would just come here, join the crowd, see Buckingham Palace and move on. Okay. Don't know what's next. I'll have to find something else I haven't done in London. Bye.